Here. Yes, that's why I have my iPad.
Larry Watch Card. Instead of Wilcox.
We are live. What?
I'm going to call him Larry Wilcox, not Wilcox, Watchcox, because that way you watch.
We are not calling him a watch.
Oh, I just got a text message that we
are not calling him that. So you're introducing him as welcome to Conversations with Mark and Yolanda. This is the first time that he's actually sitting down and oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead now. Do your own intro. I did mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here. I'm Harry. I'm looking for the Smurf in me. I'm going to dye this blue. I'm going to dye my hair blonde. I might just dye it blonde. And
we're going to try blonde. And then we'll go blue.
Yeah, because I want to be like Michael. I want to be like
who?
Michael, my hypnotist friend.
Michael, your hypnotist friend. Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Michael Stevenson. Michael's. Gosh, I get those two confused. Michael
Swenson,
same thing.
No, not the same. They're two different people.
I'm gonna do it. But
two different people that you're trying to.
The only difference is he works out a lot, so his body is a little better than mine.
Who's that?
Swenson.
Oh, that's because he works out. You don't work out.
What are you talking about? I grow my beard out. I'm one step at a time.
You don't work out. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You don't ever work out.
No.
The only thing you do is in the yard. You do crazy stuff in the yard.
I do.
That's it. So, go ahead. You want to talk about who we have on today? I know people are waiting.
We've had more requests. When we told us we have more people go, I'm going to tune in. But they don't tune in when I'm on.
You don't have time, so.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Well,
they see your face all the time, so.
Well, we weren't able to get Larry here on time. He's going to be 38 seconds late, but he still showed up, and that's all that matters. He's a real deal. You remember when you were a kid?
Yes, I grew up with that show.
You're way younger than me.
I'm 6 years younger than you.
Well, my God, I got myself one.
No, my parents used to watch the show. I mean, it was like a family gathering every time that show came on. I just went to Phoenix. Our favorite show.
Yeah, I went to Phoenix and saw my brother Heath, and that was his very, very favorite show. He's like, "You're not having Larry Wilcox on." I go, No, I'm not. He's like, "Oh my God, that's my favorite show." Remember that? I was like the #1 show for years, and everyone was like, "Hey, this is the coolest guy." And then I remember several years ago when Billy said, "Hey, do you remember the TV show Chips?" I'm like, "Dude, who doesn't?" You know. And he said, "Well, I'm meeting with Larry Wilcox." I said, "Dude, you think you can introduce me to him?" He's like, "Yeah, I mean, he's a nice guy." I go, "Is he? He's not one of those egotistical guys." Said, "Not at all. He's a cowboy. Once you know he's a cowboy, cowboys are totally different, you know. Real cowboys are real cowboys. That's what it is." I remember working with Chris Ledoux, the singer, and he was a cowboy. Same thing, the coolest guy in the world, you know. And Tim McGraw, same thing. You know, Tim's really cool. We worked with him.
Tim's not a roper, though.
He's a cowboy, though.
Oh, he's a country singer.
He's a cowboy. He's got a cowboy hat. Once you're a cowboy, you're a cowboy.
He's a country singer.
He's a cowboy. Larry is a cowboy that happened to do some acting. That's just the way it is.
Larry's a real deal. He's a roper. He's an actor, and he's
a great father. He's a great husband. He's a great friend. He's really a phenomenal man. And I remember one time I was talking to him, and he goes, "Hey, can you work with my son Chad on some basketball stuff?" And I said, yeah, no problem. Well, I'll tell that story when I see him, right? But hey, without doing this big intro, because Yolanda said you stop doing those intros because they tune off. I want to bring on, who's Tim? Tim McGraw's a cowboy. Who Tim is McGraw? He's a country singer. Tug McGraw used to be, okay. Anyway, Lisa, pay attention.
Tim McGraw was a baseball player. He wasn't a cowboy. Oh, good God.
He played for the Cowboys. Tug McGraw played for the Dallas Cowboys. He was a pitcher for the Dallas Cowboys.
Not for the Cowboys.
No, he was wannabe Poncherello. That's what he was.
Well, that's a whole story in itself.
Oh yeah. We're gonna talk about that. Oh, just kidding.
So hey, we want to bring our buddy on, our friend on, Larry Wilcox for the TV show Chips. He's here, but he's way more than that, man. Wait till you all the things he's been doing, man. He just got the high jump record. World
high jump.
Yeah. For his age bracket, he jumped higher than anybody else. He's up to 2 feet.
That's right. That's right. Talk about vertical leap. Woo!
He can go up 2
Are you
steps at
talking
once.
a high jump with him on the horse or just
No. No, he doesn't do that.
No.
Well, it's good to see you again, Larry.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Because we don't see. I mean, like I said earlier, can I get you something to drink? Just help yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing in your refrigerator. What's the deal here? Oh, that's right. You're in the desert. What should I expect, right?
We're serving lunch too, so you can be here for lunch.
I'm going to send Michael Gong down there to give you something for that refrigerator.
Well, we're hoping all our listeners do a watch party because a lot of people have been asking, when you're coming on, and because I've been talking about it, and they go, you don't really know him, and I was like, no, Yolanda does, but he'll come. I'll ask him.
Right. People have been asking, like, how did we meet you and how did we know you? And we
you didn't tell them, did you?
No, we made up a big old lie.
We made up a big old story, and then of course, then we mentioned having your son here, Chad,
yes,
coming over for dinner and eating fire, and you getting the video, and
yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, for the listeners, I send my son Chad, who was a basketball player, 6'4", really nice boy, and is, by the way, graduated finally from TCU and is working for Gartner now as a consultant for big businesses and he's learning so much and having a great time. But his experiences with you two were really memorable, and he was very impressed that when he swallowed that fire, get the hell out of there, what are they teaching you? But he did it. That was pretty cool. You taught him.
You should have seen the lead up when I said, you're going to come over for dinner and I'll have you eat fire. He goes, okay. Because he'd come over several times for dinner.
Yeah.
And he thought fire eating was a joke.
Yeah.
I was outside. I go, I'm going to do this outside because I don't want to burn the house down. I don't know if he's going to drop it or not.
Yeah.
And so he's inside our living room. We got these big windows, and Yolanda's in the kitchen. I don't think he knew Yolanda was there. So I'm lighting the torch, and I'm showing him how to do it, right? And he doesn't, I can't hear him. He can see me. And Yolanda says, he just said, there's no effing way I'm doing that.
He just kept pacing back and forth in front of the window, and he's like, no way. I ain't fucking doing that.
Yeah.
No way.
I can imagine.
I said, don't tell your dad until after we do it.
Yeah.
Big man.
Yeah. Well, that was impressive. I'll tell you. I was like, wow. I mean, I don't know how he got into your brain, Chad, but that's impressive. Swallowing fire. Wow. Going to dinner and swallowing fire.
Well, don't come to our house for dinner because we'll have you eating fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Most people take their shoes off. We have to eat fire.
Yeah, I think I'll pass.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy, huh? But boy, I'm telling you, it's been a while since we've got to see you. So you've been doing some crazy. Hey, we saw the movie. Wishman.
Wishman. Oh yeah.
What a great movie.
It was a good movie.
The story,
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job of the movie. It was interesting. When you had me come down there, remember you had me go down to the Secret Knox, and you're calling me in my car, and I said, dude, I can't drive to San Diego right now. I mean, what are you talking about? Well, how long would it take you? I don't know. If I drive fast, maybe 2.5 hours, right? And we'll hurry up and get going. And next thing I know, I'm in Secret Knox, and there you are, Mark, and I'm in shorts, and everyone's dressed really professionally in suits and so on, and men and women, and they're all business people and entrepreneurs. And I walk in my shorts, wannabe actor Chips guy. Here he comes. What's he doing? Is he a bum now? Where's his hot dog stand? It's outside.
Weren't paying as much as we thought.
Yeah, no pay, but you can meet all these people. Oh, good. And the next thing I know, I met him, and that was Frank Shankowitz, which was a great story, and ended up me doing a little cameo in his movie. But what a great story, huh? About Make-A-Wish Foundation and how it got started.
A lot of people don't know how it got started. How the whole Make-A-Wish Foundation, they've got to watch the movie Wishman. You know the main actor in there?
Yes.
He's really English?
Yes, Australian, I think.
Australian? Yeah. We hypnotized him at the last Secret Knock. He is the funniest person under hypnosis you'll ever see.
Really?
Yeah, he was hilarious. We have the video somewhere. I should find it and post it.
Yeah. That's great.
So it was Wishman is about Frank Shankowicz's life. He was a police officer, and this is true. This is how the whole thing started. You think about you're such an influence on Make-A-Wish Foundation. People don't realize this. And what happened was Frank got in a motorcycle accident. He was a real police officer, got in a motorcycle accident. He didn't have the best upbringing of his mother or father, as you can see. You watch them, I don't want to ruin the movie. And I remember him in the movie getting a call to go down and to, I think it was Chicago or something, and meet up with this little boy. And this little boy's whole wish, he was dying of leukemia, right? And his whole wish was, I just want to be a police officer. CHP. He used to watch the movie, the TV show Chips. It inspired him. That's all he wanted to do in life. Before his dying wish was, I want to be that. Frank Shankowitz started because of the TV show Chips, started Make-A-Wish Foundation. He never took any money. To this day, never took a dime from it. It all goes back. And one of the things were that boy wanted to be a real policeman before he died. And Make-A-Wish Foundation was started all because of your TV show.
Yeah.
And they made him he was a truly police officer before he died. They gave him everything. So he was a real police officer, and then he had passed away. And then when I found out that the whole story, I'm like, Frank Shankowitz, the owner of Make-A-Wish, the founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation, is going to be at Secret Knock. And I said, because he's there every year, so we know him. And I said, Greg, Gregory, I said, do you want to meet Larry Wilcox, who is on TV show Chips? Frank doesn't know him, and we'll surprise him. And I'm like, he goes, dude, that would be so great. That's what I told him. I said, okay, Larry, you got to get down here. Can you get down here?
Yeah.
We need to shower, heck, you know?
Yeah.
And just go up in your shorts.
No.
The whole Make-A-Wish Foundation was because of the TV show you did. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it was. And it was a wonderful movie. Those guys did a really good job. Some guys with limited budgets don't do so well, but I felt like, the story was good and the editing was good and the director did a good job. I think the director kind of, in my opinion, was the star of the whole production, but they did a good job. And in retrospect, I can remember the publicist of MGM Studios coming to Erik and myself while we were filming Chips and telling us this story, and that the boy only had maybe a day or two to live, right? And they were trying to schedule so we could both fly to meet him, like the movie where Frank meets him, but we were literally going to go meet him. And then the production, they couldn't fix the schedule. And, you think to yourself, wow, why couldn't they fix the schedule, But anyway, they didn't, and we couldn't. And it was, in the end, we sent a package of photos and chips and autographs and so on to him. But in my opinion, it's not the same. And as I've said, I gave a little speech after the first screening of the movie. They had the actors up on the stage talking. And I said, every time I go to one of these children's hospitals and meet these kids with leukemia or fatal diseases, I can't go anymore because I'll start crying, and I'm worried. And I think I make it worse for everybody because I'm looking in their eyes and crying, and saying, God, don't take this boy or girl, sad, but special people and special cause.
Yeah, and those kids are so appreciative of the life they have in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's so, and people in the world complain because internet's not fast enough, or they put mayonnaise on our tuna fish. You know. So
yeah.
Hey, we started doing donating to the Cure for Cancer kids here in Las Vegas.
Kids. Yeah.
And 100% goes to them. To see those kids, we went through the hospital, and Gwen Stefani's part of it. Chris Angel, big donator. So you have a lot of celebrities that really donate and take care. It's amazing to walk through there and see the kids, how they're smiling with no hair.
Yeah.
You know, and going through that. And you're thinking, I will never complain about anything ever again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, there are a couple things I always say that, you know, you could go to one of those hospitals as an adult and really get educated on what wisdom really is, because they're so wise about death and their time. Yeah. And they're very articulate about it. It's always kind of blows my mind how they just put it out there and talk about it and candid and so on. And you know, there between that and surprisingly, some people would be surprised, is I think that the kids and youth and adults who go through this 12-step program, almost every human being I met needs to go through the 12-step program, because it teaches you about, you know, your head and what you are and how to be vulnerable and humble and grateful. And those are the tools in life that you want a human being to have, not, you know, how much money he made and what car he drives and who he's with today. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. Did you used to race cars? Speaking of cars,
I did.
Bonneville Salt Flats speed record.
Larry's a daredevil. I think.
He's crazy. I'm telling you, but he's not going to eat fire. I can tell you
that. No fire in this baby's tummy. Yeah, I used to race, but you know, I love racing. I don't know why. I mean, there's sometimes I ask myself, why do I think adrenaline and the fear, you know, but I think probably from Vietnam, but I think the fear quotient excites me. And so, like when you're coming around a corner, you know, at 100+ miles an hour, and you have to drift into the wall to hit almost to the wall, so the air compresses and pushes you back out. That's a pretty scary feeling, you know, as that wall's getting closer and closer, you're about ready to crash, and then that compressed air pushes you back out. So, you know, stuff like that was kind of fun. I liked racing open wheel cars, maybe better than closed wheel, which were Formula Fords was the only thing I was racing. And my son, by the way, much better racer than me. My oldest son was.
Or your other son?
No, my oldest son, Derek, he was a national runner-up national champion in go-karts. And most of the Formula One race car drivers start in go-karts, and then they go to, you know, up the ladder, if you will, Formula 3, Formula 2, and Formula 1. I love Formula 1, so I have to get up at 3 a.m. to watch the race in Austria or wherever, but I enjoy it, you know. But mine were a combination of a wannabe racer, because, you know, what did you race, Larry? Well, I raced the Volkswagen Rabbits, and oh wow, how fast did you go in those, big boy? Well, I went 110 miles an hour, but you know, it's still, you know, those little bumblebees, and they're all sound the same, right? They're all in a pack together. And then finally someone bumps you and pitches you off the road, and you got to get back on, and it's a lot of dirty playing. But anyway, I learned a lot in it, you know, and then I raced, went to all the race schools all the time to get your threshold up, because in racing you want to get, so 100 miles an hour feels like 50 miles an hour, et cetera, et cetera. And as you get your threshold up, then you're really good. Well, there's good and bad about it. So I go to Bob Bondurant Race School and Jim Russell Race School, and you name it, right? And I raced off-road trucks, 130-mile-an-hour pickups in Baja 1000 and the Mint 400 in Vegas and the Frontier 500 and all those races I raced, you know. And then you pee blood for a day or two, but it was fun, you know. And
it's like fire eating. Well, Larry, it's just like fire eating, only it's different. Fire eating is done in 2 seconds. You don't hit no walls. You don't have to wait for the wind. Nothing like that.
That's right. Yeah, one of those ephemeral sports, right? So then I went and did the Bonneville Salt Flats, and even then, you don't feel any speed there. It's like there aren't any trees to go by or anything, at 150 miles an hour. So anyway, I did that in a little LN7. So my racing career was kind of half publicity, some celebrity races, and then some real races. And I really liked it and really enjoyed it. I think deep down I was just a wannabe, but I really liked it.
You still doing it?
No, I mean, there's a point. I'd like to race airplanes, but
he's a pilot. He's also a pilot.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to make sure that my eye-hand coordination's good enough, because I know my vertical leap's good, but I don't know about my. No, I'm teasing.
You got the record with that vertical leap in your age bracket.
Yeah. Can I jump up to that airplane and jump out? But I love flying and I love racing, and but I think I don't anymore. I owned one. I had one all through Chips and after for a while, but it's really not good for a young guy to own an airplane, I don't think.
Not a daredevil young guy.
No, because I was immortal.
Not a daredevil.
I used to give surfers haircuts in Malibu, and with my prop. They saw me coming, and who is this nutcase? And they would start getting down on their surfboard,
You had a Cessna?
No, I had a cool airplane. Too bad I can't flip up pictures for you. I would share a screen or something maybe. But I had a military plane called a Navion with a cockpit that slid back, a glass cockpit. It was so cool. And I bought it. I didn't even know how to fly. And so I learned to fly in the airplane, and then I turned it into a hot rod with all kinds of change the angle of incidence 6 degrees on my wings, and put all new engine in it and 3-bladed prop, and had special effects guys in the movie business make me a nose bowl so it'd be faster, and no steps or anything hanging on. My wife said, well, how do I get in this airplane? You don't. If you can't jump on the wing, you don't get in. She said, what do you mean? This is a hot rod, honey. This isn't this isn't a John Travolta plane. This is a hot rod. I flew into Cedar City one day in my hot rod plane and landed to get gas because I was flying up to Wyoming, and put my canopy back real cool, right? Top Gun here. What are you doing, buddy? He says, hey, aren't you the guy from Chips? Yeah, I am. He says, what are you doing flying this old piece of shit? What? What'd you say? This is my airplane, dude. I'm real proud of it. What are you talking about? But I loved it.
Now, was that Marlene at the time?
Yeah, Marlene and I were flying together, and she used to get me so upset because in all respect to women, I wanted to just fly from X to Y. I land in Wyoming, and Wyoming's like 7,000 square feet at level, so you have to fly so darn high over the Tetons and stuff, right? So I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, dude, right now I gotta land somewhere so you can go to the bathroom. Here's a Coke bottle. That won't work.
Well, she'd be able to jump on that wing. She's an athlete.
Oh yeah, she's a real thing. Yeah, she's the
money.
Yeah, the older you get, hopefully, you learn to appreciate your spouse more, right? And I think when you're younger, you have those stupid male identity crises, and you're proving a bunch of unnecessary crap, and then you're stubborn, and she's telling you should do X. No, I'm doing Y. You don't understand, right? And no, she understood. And now, when she says, you shouldn't trim the roses that way. Okay, how would you like me to do them? Because I know she's right. I used to argue. So from roses to everything, I listen to her now. But she's a beautiful girl, and she's just such a giving human being, and a world-class athlete, not a wannabe actor out there putting lipstick on. She really was a world-class track and field athlete, Olympian in 7 events, and so she's my hero. She's a great girl.
Yeah,
awesome.
she's definitely a super achiever.
Yeah.
You know how many women go to the Olympics? You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, they have to be a little nuts and a little alpha male and an alpha female, man. I mean, there are times I like to turn her alpha female off, you know. Dude, I'm the alpha. Did you forget? Yes, she forgot.
And she gave you permission to be the alpha that time. Remember?
That's right. That's right. I'm the surrogate alpha.
When she's not there, I got to be there. You know?
They redid they did a movie Chips, right?
Yeah, they did a movie. What they just called it, Chips, I think, wasn't it? I don't know. Chips the movie or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that.
I didn't like it. It wasn't very good. I thought it would. Well, but you know, I have to say it. No, I wasn't in it, so it was terrible.
That's right. We gave it 1 star out of 10.
Yes.
Well, anytime they try to remake shows that were a hit, and then they try to make it into a movie, it's never going to be the same.
Well, I think what they tried to do, Dax Shepard and his co-partners and so on. I think first of all, you have to, Larry, they got it produced and they got the money to do it. So shut up. You're right. That's a really neat achievement, and God bless them for doing that. But I think what they did is they wanted to steal the marquee, the brand of something, and leverage it in their own story. And it looked like, you know, Dax was on crack when he wrote it, because you know, it was just all over the place. And sometimes I thought, when I saw the first trailers, I says, is this soft porn for the CHP?
I know. I didn't know Erik, or I don't know who the actor was, but he portrayed,
the other one was.
He portrayed him like the biggest pervert out there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, they made it, and I would like to. I owned the rights to it at one time, and I would like to get the rights back. You know, I own the rights, and I thought it sold to a USA Network at one time with CAA helping me, and then for whatever reason it fell out, like all things in the film business. You know, you spec into poverty. So you got to be careful how much spec you do, speculation. So anyway, we had done that multiple times and then lost it. And then they did this movie. And now I think, you know, if it was done right, and maybe Ponch and John could have a little cameo in it, but, you know, just have
I would put you in there a lot more than a cameo.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll hire you then as a producer. For saying that. Right. But anyway, it's over and onward and upward. You know, I watched the movie that Tarantino did about Hollywood. There's a story about whatever with Leonardo DiCaprio and all the good actors in it. And I'm watching that. I say, dude, what, you really wanted to be an actor? I mean, what the hell was wrong with you? You know, I'm looking at the things he's going through and talking in the mirror and using the recorder. And how was that, honey? Was that good? Did I look good in that shot? Shut up. Would you shut up? It's embarrassing. You know, you played house when you were 8, not 18, you know.
Well, it was like the first big role
No, I had a bigger one. Lassie.
You were in Lassie.
I starred in Lassie, and Lassie was the star. I was the co-star, but I was housebroken. But it was fun, you know. And they would let Lassie on the Learjet first, and then I could get on, you know.
You were the star, Lassie. It's been so long, I forgot about that show.
Yeah. Well, don't forget about it. It was a big one. Then
How old were you when you?
I was 21 playing a 16-year-old, and
so you were the boy. You were the son.
Yes, he was the boy.
Oh my God!
Not the little guy who was Johnny Provost, you know. But after that, I did this in 1970. I just got out of the Marine Corps, you know. Next thing, I called my brother, hey, Randy, who was here in those days in Wyoming, right? Hey, where I'm from, you know, a hick from Wyoming. Hey, Rand, yeah, what are you doing, Lair? Dude, I'm a movie star. What do you mean? I just got a television series I'm starring in. What's it called? Lassie. Oh, shit, dude. You're not the star. The dog's the star. Oh, see you later, Rans. And then the first episode that I was in, I didn't even have a television. So I had to go buy a television, right? And to watch myself on TV. And there I come on, shows on, 2 minutes, nothing. Where am I? 5 minutes. Where am I? Damn. 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Why is this? Am I not in this episode? Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the guy, Dale. His name's Dale, the hick of hicks. Look at that all-American dummy, right? That was me, right? Jump in the water, Larry. And I did all my own stunts because I didn't know. They knew they had a hick here. Pay this kid scale, and he'll do all the stunts also. He doesn't know any better, right? So they would say, hey, you're here at the Stanislaus River. Now, this river really flows. It goes fast, yeah? I'm a kid from Wyoming, so I was in the Marine Corps. Yeah. So you're going to get up on that rock there in those cowboy boots and Levi's, and you're going to jump off that rock into that river. You can swim, right? Oh, yeah, I'm swim. You kidding me? I went through survival training in the Marine Corps in the water. Of course I can swim. Okay. So you're going to swim right down there. See those guys in the wetsuits by the rope? Yeah. When you get down by them, they'll grab you and save you so you don't keep going down off the waterfalls or something, right? Yeah, no problem. And then you'll rescue Lassie and pull him in with the little gopher in his mouth or whatever he rescued, right? Yeah, no problem. I went by those guys in the rope so fast they didn't even see me. It was like, wow, what happened to the rope and the scuba guys, And I'm going down the river now. Oh, man, I start swimming to the side, right, and grab some willows to get me out of there, man. And I said, what the hell is this? And then another time they said, you'll ride one of those pump train cars, where you pump the handle up and down, and the engine's going to push you to get up a little speed. No, don't have him push me. Just let me go down the hill. No, you'll need a little push, right? Okay. Oh, man, that thing was going up and down like that, and I'm coming down that hill, and then right at the bottom, you jump off it into that sand dirt right there, and I jump off and crash. I mean, it was like that every day on Lassie, and they had to deal with me, boy. They got the numbskulls in Wyoming. No, wasn't in the scar. No, nope. I did have a restroom, but I wasn't the star. And a girl one time, my first day of filming, came up, oh, are you an actor? Yeah. And, wow, could I have your autograph? And I thought, hey, cool. I've never really given my autograph. I must have written her a paragraph. My buddy said, just sign your name, dude. You don't write all that crap on the paper.
She's probably still got it going.
Yeah, let him go, please. He's going to be following me around now. He's a stalker. Damn actors.
Oh, my goodness.
You had a heck of a career, though. I mean, you from when, 21 to still doing some cameos and doing some things all over where you're asked to go and do some appearances, sign some stuff. And do you ever work with Erik still?
I do. I mean, after Chips, I did Movies of the Week, and then I produced my own, television series that I created with a friend, Mark Massari, real good guy, and called the Ray Bradbury Theater for HBO. And I produced that all over the world. And, they won a lot of awards, the show did. And so that was good. But in a way, I saw myself transitioning out of economic fear because, as an actor, you make so much money for a short period of time. So you have a shelf life. And you can be the best actor in the world, doesn't matter. There's a lot of luck and all kinds of issues. And so, who wants to be that in your life is very frightening. So I went and I directed 2 of the highest rated shows on Chips. And okay, you did that. And then I became the entrepreneur businessman, which caressed that side of my ego. And I flew around and bought the rights to the Yorkshire Ripper and made a deal at MGM and sold them that. And then Wolfman Jack and sold that to Columbia. And then the Dorothy Stratton story, I produced The Death of a Playmate and I sold that to NBC. And then I bought the Waco Cult and got kind of screwed out of that by NBC, but I owned all the rights to the right people in the beginning. But what people don't realize in the film business, you're just still a speculator. and there's still no security in anything you're doing. Well, as I was doing that, I became more and more speculative, but in a way, there's a part of me said, you should have just kept acting, because you had a brand and you didn't perpetuate that brand any further. You started becoming a techie and a businessman, right?
Right.
And so in a way, cut my nose off to spite my face, if you will. And so I just recently hired a new agent and a manager, and we'll see what happens. I don't, why would I do that? Well, it produces a lot of income. And,
yeah. Yeah.
And, I see guys this is a pompous statement, and I like to think of myself as humble, but, I studied and trained a lot as an actor. And I see guys that, shouldn't be acting. I'll just say it that way.
Right.
And there's some big name guys that are pretty but terrible, And so I would love to be anything ugly, character actor, whatever, whatever they want. I like doing that, but my really passion is technology. So that's what I'm working mostly on.
Well,
Awesome.
I think the pay scale today would be a lot better than when you were doing Lassie, maybe.
It'd be better than Lassie, no doubt. Yeah. Yeah, with the scale at that time was down there, dude. I mean, like $400 for a week after 15 stunts,
Yeah, but you signed the autograph.
They didn't pay you extra for doing the stunts?
No.
That was the extra.
No, they did not. One time they asked, I did a Disney movie once. They said, would you ride that Brahma bull over there? I said, yeah, I'll ride him. And he isn't like a regular Brahma bull, Larry. He's trained. I said, oh, what do you mean trained? He neck reins and everything. I said, oh, like a horse? Yeah. So I said, okay, I'll ride him. Dumb Larry, right? So where do I have to ride him? Just right down there through this zoo here. I said, well, who's in the zoo? We'll be there, but don't worry about it. Well, who else is in the zoo? That big tiger over there is going to be in the zoo. We're going to let him loose, and he's going to just go by you to the other trainer, because the other trainer is going to be over there making sure he comes right down. No, I'm not doing that. So how come? I said, because I grew up in Wyoming. I know what's going to happen. Oh, come on. Are you scared? Are you a little baby? You don't want? And yep, not doing it. Well, the stunt man will do it. Then give him your wardrobe, and he'll do it for you, big baby. And then, I was like, I want to smack this guy, right? So I gave him my clothes. He did it. Sure enough, Tiger got up on that bull's rear end and ripped it off, and was killing him. Just tore his bottom out, But you can't put two wild animals together like that, right? But once again, did I get any extra money? No, nothing.
At least you got away from the tiger.
Yeah, that's right. I was waving at some actress up there, probably.
Well, that would be great if you got back into acting and got some big roles again and kind of re-kicked it again, Yeah,
it would be. It'd be fun. I mean, after all, I was telling my agent the other day, says, Larry, we're going to rebuild your career because there isn't any question about your talent. But he said, it's a slow rebuild, unfortunately. So I said, I'm okay. Just don't send me on some job that they want me to be a sheriff for $500 for 4 days. I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. Next, hire the guy over there. Call Don Johnson or whoever. And I'm not doing it.
Well, you need a major role.
Yeah. Call Erik Estrada, right? Maybe he'll do it. I didn't answer your question. I didn't. Sorry. He's entertaining. Erik is a funny guy, bigger than life. And, you have to appreciate where someone comes from before you start doing your critique of Erik, right? So here's a kid from Harlem, Spanish Harlem, Puerto Rican, is I guess a bouncer, but I don't know, in a bar in North Hollywood, right? And then he became an actor and did some roles and then did Chips, and it gives you a false sense of power when you're starring in a television series. And I was thinking back about a lot of stars would come and do a guest role on Chips with us, and I should have been kowtowing to them. Those were major guys and said, thank you for even doing this. But anyway, we were two young guys looking in the mirror and flexing our muscles, and so be it. But we do we do these big shows now. We do those Comic-Cons. Oh my goodness!
Did you really? You do Comic-Cons?
Oh yeah, those are. You know, you should see the girls who want to kiss me today, man. Oh man.
It's the same girls that wanted your autograph that they just kind of hung on, and now they're stalking you.
Hung on, man. I'll tell you, they're the Idaho potato girls. I'm telling you.
Like being in Lassie all over again.
Yeah, they want a French kiss, and I know. Sorry. Oh, come on, Larry. No, sorry. You know, can you just kiss me here? No. Can I show you my tattoo? No, I don't want to see it. What's wrong with you? Erik let me do it. I said, I'm a prude. I'll see you later.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, we're big stars now, Bo. Big stars.
So now you're doing some roping and things like that, huh? Coming to Vegas?
No, right now, you know, I got rid of all my horses. Sold all my saddles. I just said, you know, what are you doing? You're starting to be a hoarder. You got about 5 saddles in here. What are you doing with them? And nothing. And so I felt kind of bad selling my saddles. It's kind of weird. A cowboy sells his saddles. It's kind of like, you know, taking off your gun belt back in the days in the Western, right? But anyway, so I did that. But what I'm doing now is technology. So I focus almost all on this. We have this new technology that is a lighting technology that kills COVID-19. So,
wow, perfect timing.
Yeah, really good timing. And so I can't disclose the technology because it's patented and very confidential, but literally in 5 seconds, we can kill 100 square feet of COVID-19 on any surface, interior or exterior. And it's so weird, you know, here you have a solution. There's a combination of solutions that are necessary. There's an ingress egress portal that should be in facilities that people are going in and out, that this light would kill certain nanometers would kill bacteria on you. Those are available today. The ones that you're buying in the little wands and stuff that everybody's selling, those aren't enough. You have to have a certain power, and those have to be within 6 inches of the bacteria. Ours can be 10, 20 feet, doesn't matter. But so ingress egress portal. Then the second thing you need is you guys maybe consider this, is an HVAC system, your heating and air conditioning system. There's some really neat technology called needle point ionization. I won't bore you with it, but basically what it does is COVID-19 is not a organism, so you aren't killing it, but you're decimating it and separating the bonds and the ions and so on. As a result of that, this air conditioning system, through a plasma, clears all of your air, and it only costs like $500, $600, $700 for a house, right? So it's really important. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is our system, which you can walk around and if you have a hazmat suit on, because that light will hurt you, and you can't. No human being can be in front of it, so it's dangerous. But it's perfect for military ships and submarines and buildings, and you know, at midnight a guy goes through and zaps it all, and it's clean as clean can be. And then those 3 systems. So that's what we're focused on. So I go to, do I know the governor of California? No. Well, you used to have all these network. What happened to your network? I don't know. I don't know the guy. So I have to go online like everyone else, go to his portal, fill out his form. Do you have any technology that's, we're really interested in hearing from the public? I know. 2 weeks later, nothing, right? And it's the same on every level of bureaucracy. So the question becomes, people are dying every day and you can't get this to them. Why not? I don't know. I'm not giving up, but it's that's what I'm focused on, is that technology. It's really neat and wonderful technology and healing.
That's so cool.
That is.
Well, hopefully it gets out there, and you don't know how many people watch this. We have almost 4 listeners and fans that come on this conversation, Mark and I, so it'll spread fast.
Right. Well, I tried to spread it to my little group, but I put it on Facebook on the timeline and all that stuff to try, and I'll try to help you in the future. But I don't know if you would consider me an influencer today, but anyway, I'll try to influence.
Well, we always
definitely are. I've gotten so many messages from people waiting for us. Somebody was like, "We'll see you tomorrow. Larry's going to be out." I'm like, "That's Wednesday, so I'll see you on Wednesday."
Yes. That's right.
So I kept getting messages. I'm like, "Okay, you're on the wrong date. It's Wednesday. He will be here Wednesday, so I will see you Wednesday."
Yeah.
I know that everybody that's been texting and Facebook messaging, they've been looking forward to seeing us have a conversation with you, because we didn't know where it was going. I mean, we started this whole thing when this whole pandemic started, and we just wanted people to talk and have a conversation and realize that, hey, we can still see each other through video and still connect and still have a conversation. So that's why we started this conversations with Mark and Yolanda, just to get that going. And look at, now we're talking to you. How fun is that?
Up to 8 listeners now.
Yeah.
And they watch all his craziness, so they enjoy all his crazy stunts outside. So
I saw you with your chainsaw.
That was not my idea.
Now you see the truth. See, she's out there doing all this stuff. And
first of all, if it would have been my idea, I would have not been wearing what I was wearing. And I would have wore goggles. I would have found like the biggest goggles I could have found to put on my face.
Right.
And some gloves. No, he calls me outside and he's like, "I'm doing a Facebook Live. Grab the chainsaw." And I'm like, "What am I grabbing the chainsaw for?" Because you're going to cut some branches off that tree and people are going to watch.
Yeah.
And they want to see you do this stuff. And I'm like, I don't want people to see me doing this crazy stuff. No, because I would be more safety cautious about it than you are.
That thing's dangerous. That can kick back.
I know.
It does, yeah.
He didn't say that about me when I was chainsawing or eating fire. He's like, "Yeah, keep going."
He knows you're crazy.
Yeah.
And she gets over 1,000 views. I do Facebook. I get nothing.
Yeah, same here. That's same with my wife. Someone said to me one day, she could have done better.
Was it her that said it?
Yeah, her sister. No. Anyway.
So you still talk to Erik Estrada? Somebody's asking.
Yeah, not very often though. I mean, I'm so busy in my business. I don't know what I would talk to him about. Just, hey, once in a while I call him, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And or is everything okay? You need anything? And so on, those kind of things, I think. But other than that, no, I don't talk to him. I don't see him other than a Comic-Con.
Which is not happening this year.
No, there aren't any, no Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
And, so no, to answer your question, I don't talk to him very often.
Well, you don't really see him doing too much.
He did the infomercial for a while.
Well,
yeah.
What was he selling? I don't remember.
Arkansas land.
I don't remember. But you really don't see him do much, and you don't really don't hear about him doing much.
I think he's a policeman now, a real policeman. Well, I guess he went to what he does, internet sexual predators, where on the internet where I guess
like Chris Hansen.
Yeah. Well, and he uses me to entice him, and then he grabs them, No, he doesn't use me. But he went to St. Anthony, Idaho, and became a police department member, and had to taser him and all that stuff, So
he lives in Idaho.
No, he lives in North Hollywood, but I'm sure there was a reason he went to St. Anthony to become a policeman. But I actually lived in St. Anthony, Idaho in the summers with my grandmother, and I said, "St. Anthony, wow, that's a little Mormon town. I used to live there in the summer and pick potatoes and do all those wonderful things." Well, why did you go to St. Anthony? It's a tiny hotel, tiny town, My grandmother owned the St. Anthony Hotel right there on the corner. I thought I was at the Hilton, you know. You know what a kid thinks is 5-star. You know, it's a low 1-star, dude.
Had a TV and a shower.
That's right. And then there were a row of rooms that I always didn't want to go down, and where my grandma and her helper would clean, right? Because that was Sheep Herder's Alley, and those were $2 a night, and you don't want to go down there. Oh yeah, it was quite a story.
Wow.
Made good money though. We danced on the bar at night and to Elvis Presley and made $0.25 and 50 cents, and we were big money makers.
Yeah, I bet you could still get that kind of money if you really try.
Yeah, I probably could. I could be investing in blue chips, you know, or blue balls. I don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
It's all right. We'll make your stuff go viral.
So
Yeah.
Blue balls.
Yeah.
we have someone that's asking, do you have any favorite TV shows or series that you follow?
Yes. Yeah. I like SEALs, the SEAL
Yeah.
team, about the SEAL
Oh
team.
yeah, the SEAL Team. I watched that.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah, me too. I like it because, you know, the Marine Corps and having served in war in Vietnam and so on. So I like all that stuff. And, you know, I think that the writing is kind of weird on it, though. It ends sometimes with no ending. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? That's the end of the episode? Who wrote this? You know?
And
Yeah.
I have to wait till next week to watch.
Yeah. I don't know. But I like Blacklist. I like, you know, Blacklist.
Yes. I
My
watched
favorite was Homeland.
that. Oh, I'm watching that on HBO right now. I love that.
That was from the beginning when the guy on Billions was on
Yes.
Homeland. I'd watch Billions too. I love Billions. Really about society and the corruption and how we buy each other's souls, you know. But I'm not sure if the Wall Street broker's the bad guy or the Attorney General's the bad guy, because they're both bad all the time, you know. But anyway, Billions is a good one, and Homeland, was phenomenal. I still like to once in a while go back and look at 2.5 Men because it's funny.
Yes.
It's funny as can be.
Yeah.
And he did such a good job before he got wacko, and he was so good in it.
Which is the other one you like to watch? Oh, Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
With
Tim, Toolman Tim.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Tim the
good.
Toolman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tim Taylor, yeah.
That's a great show.
Yeah, we saw him as a comic, and
Oh yeah, we saw him live.
People think that when they see you on TV, you're Mr. Rogers, and then when you see in real life, you're not.
Right. Right.
And I remember
And they're
people getting
shocked.
up, walking out, getting up. I was like, Tim said the F word. He said the F word.
Yeah.
You didn't come to a gospel thing, you know. He said, you know, don't contact me, be there during his comedy, you know.
Right.
I didn't think they were serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Robbins.
Yeah.
And not getting shocked because he says the F word.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I haven't seen his show, but you know, there are always good shows on. If you search around, you'll find something that appeals to your palate, and opinions are just opinions. But hopefully I answered that person's question. And,
Oh yeah.
So are you still on Me TV? Because I still watch Laverne and Shirley, and I'm waiting for Chips to come on every so often. That gosh darn Laverne and Shirley, man.
hey, yeah, look at here. Look at here. See this?
Royalty checks.
Yeah, you want to know how much?
Yes.
Probably retired. How many zeros? How many zeros?
1. Yes, it's 1 cent. 1 cent this residuals for.
They sent you a check for 1 cent.
1 cent, honest.
It cost them more for that paper.
Yeah. And that's probably for Chips. I don't know. Who knows? But Chips is on Me TV. I did get a big residual the other day for about 50 episodes or something. But yeah, it's on Me TV somewhere. Me TV made some kind of corrupt deal, in my opinion. And Screen Actors Guild, I call a union. Hey, why aren't I getting residuals on the? Oh, Larry, it's a problem. Yeah, I know it's a problem. That's why I'm calling you. You're the attorney, and you've paid you all these union dues over the years. What's the deal? We're working on it. It's in the process. Man, has it been a long process? I mean, how did they show that show and not pay residuals? And then they called me and said, would you do some promotions for it? Are you nuts?
That's
promote for free? Yeah, you want me to do the stunts too?
You're a Marine. You can do it.
Yeah, that's right. And boy, are you. The big hands on 12 and little hands on 6. Come on, Marine. It's your turn.
I remember we were at Sigmund at the Marriott, and you ordered a glass of wine. I go, so you still get residual checks there? I go, oh, yeah. Yeah, about 3 checks to 1 glass of wine.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, it's not like, when they have friends get residual checks.
Yeah, right.
Friends. These are unfriends. These checks.
Yeah. Don't depend on it for your day job. Now, I did try singing like every dumb actor does, right? So, that didn't work out either. I did it on the Bob Hope Christmas special, and they said, this is a Carol Bayer Sager song, dude. You realize that's a big name, Yeah, I know. And Larry Wilcox is singing this song, Me and My Love. And when you go to my website at larrywilcox.net, by the way, you can download and buy Me and My Love.
We're doing it.
Yeah, you got to have it because, man, you talk about some double tracking to try to make it better, right? And so I go and see it on the Bob Hope Christmas special, and I had the rights to approve or disapprove of the edit. Oh, lip sync was hard in those days. Because I'd be saying Me and My Love, and then Me and My Love would come out. It's like, there's no sync here. Well, that's your fault, Larry. You weren't following your own song. Oh, damn. Cut it. You can't show this. This is humiliating. There went my singing career.
Well, it might be revived because we're going to post it and people are going to go on there. You'll make more money today. You can triple and quadruple that big check you just showed us.
They're going to be asking me on The Voice. I'm telling you, they'll want me on The Voice.
Hey, we can make some calls.
Well, maybe you and him could do a duet. Because this one can't sing. He thinks he's a rock star. He got the mic and he thinks I can rock this song. He cannot hear a tune if his life depended on it. He's so off tune. He thinks he's a rock star.
I'm a better cowboy than I am a singer, and I'm not a cowboy either. I owned a horse a couple times. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's hard to get Kentuckers to sit. I'm like, sit. They just ignore you. No matter how many times you tell them sit, they just ignore you.
Oh yeah, I have this always standing by, and the second glass of wine, my voice is perfect.
Well, next time we'll have to bring some wine and have you have a couple of glasses. So
yeah. My son says to me, my one of my sons, Ryan, he's actually a good singer, and my wife's a terrible singer, and I'm probably medium terrible. Even though I would like to say I'm pretty good. But he says to me, Dad, you're off key. Come on. No, I'm not. It's perfect. No, it isn't. You need a tuning fork in your head.
They just don't recognize good talent. Jealousy is jealousy, Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you're a big star, they just treat you bad, and they wish they were you, and they always wanted my motorcycle and those tight breeches. They told me to get my uniform on. I got those tight breeches on one leg. I couldn't get them, they won't even go over my hips, let alone my body. And what was this kid? What was he, 120 pounds when he did chips?
That's before he got into bodybuilding.
Yeah, that's right. Steroids.
Steroids.
What was your favorite chips episode that you did?
When I directed them, I really enjoyed directing them. I directed 2 of them. One was about motocross, and another one was a tow truck movie about a guy who drug a chain behind his tow truck and would assault people or cars and so on. So I enjoyed directing those. Those had kids in them too. It was fun working with them. Fun one was when we were rodeo. We did a rodeo sequence, and I brought all my own horses and roped, and my buddies came and they got paid, and we had fun. And so rodeo was fun. Another one was we did one on jet skis, and so you're getting paid to ride jet skis, and we were riding Erik stuntman Danny Rogers. I did my own stunts, and Danny Rogers did them for Erik. And we're sitting on we did our jet skis around the Queen, what's it called? Queen Mary. And we were out past Queen Mary quite a ways because it was docked there, but it was near there. And we're sitting on our jet skis back in the old days where you had to stand up on them, and they were the 440s, I think they were called. Anyway, we're sitting on the back of them, and we're dangling, and we look at each other, dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my! We got on our jet skis and we wouldn't sit down anymore. Just kind of boogied around till the camera's ready. We're not sitting out here with our legs dangling,
Yeah, they were different back then. You had your feet in water when you hit the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you felt it.
Yeah, you did. Oh yeah. Some people like just to troll behind that thing. Oh, this is great. Those jets are just wonderful. Yeah, they were interesting machines.
Weren't you on another show as a guest, a celebrity guest? One of those crazy where tug of wars and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I did that. So I did that last year. I think maybe it was 2 years now. Time just goes by. But
it was 2 years ago.
What was it?
Okay, so they call me. They say, "Hey, Larry, do you remember doing the Battle of the Network Stars? And you were one of the, the jocks." And, oh yeah, I did those, and I can do the obstacle course real well because I'm a Marine, And, yeah, and so how are you these days? What do you mean? How am I? Well, I mean, are you okay? I don't know what your age is and everything, but you think you could compete in one of those? Of course I could, I said. And they said, "Oh, and you will sign a waiver in case you get injured?" Said, "Yeah, no problem. I'm a Marine, right?"
Get your own stunts.
So my wife says, what are the events? I said, "I don't know." She says, "Well, then why did you say yes? What do you mean? Are you going to be on national television? And are you sure you want to do this?" I said, "Why? What are you saying?" So, "What's your waist, Larry? Don't worry about it. I'll get it down. It'll be no problem." So they get the events, and I look at the events, and basketball is one of them. I'm a good basketball player. Yeah, right. My Chad was be laughing when I said that. Right. So I went down to the court every day, walked and dribbled with both hands. And then I go to the basketball court. No one's there. Of course, they're all working. Right? So I'm down there and I do my form. Right. Everything's perfect. One hand, then the other hand. Both hands. Can you dribble with both hands? Well, not so good, but I'll get it back here in a minute. Next day, it's still not coming, but it'll come. Right. How many of those three? Now I go to the event and they say, "Okay, you're going to compete against," I forgot the guy's name. Sorry. The comedian from Canada. And so that's all I remember. And so he shoots like, the 50s with those the bucket. He's doing the bucket. I said, "Oh my God, this is who I'm playing. This is a slam dunk, right? Well, here's how you're supposed to shoot, dude. Your hand has to go through like that, and you have to follow through, arch." And he misses the first 3, and I hit the first 2, the corner shots. Well, all 3 shots around the key, right? The dude beats me. I'm so bad. I don't know. I missed like 11 in a row or something, right? And I'm looking, I'm saying, wow. So now next thing comes, we have to throw the ball at that little teeny target and someone falls into the water, right?
Oh, yeah.
Erik grabs it and boom, one guy falls and I said, oh yeah, here. He says, here, just don't think about it, just doing it. Boom, miss. I missed 3 times in a row, you're out, right? Now I'm looking like, dude, maybe you shouldn't have done this, right? Now we get to the race. And they say, why don't you, that's going to be tomorrow morning. We'll film that, Larry. I said, okay. So you go home. My wife says, how you feel? I said, okay. I'm kind of disappointed in myself with basketball. I'm good at basketball. Choked or whatever. And so, oh, don't worry, honey. And so she builds my ego back up. And then we go together the next day. And she steps out in her glory and her beauty and great shape. And Tubby Boy steps out here. Hi, I'm here again. John Baker, 7 Mary 3. Where's my motorcycle? So I walk over there and say, we want to interview you and your wife. Could you kiss your wife on the cheek? And then, yeah, so I do that. Of course, they cut that all out, right? And now my wife says, they tell my wife, why don't you give Erik and Larry some instructions since you're the Olympian, right? I said, okay. And she shows how to do this fast with your arms and how to, and then call for the
baton.
Yeah, baton. Thank you. And I forgot what you call it, but hand, and it comes right, and then you go. And so they have him as the first link, and I'm the second link of the 400 or something. I'm running a 200, I think, maybe 100, I don't know. And so they get ready, set, go, boom, shoot the gun, and Erik starts. And I start laughing, and my wife said, what are you laughing at? He looks like a little Chinaman shuffling along there. Look at him, he can't even move. She says, shut up, you're next. And you're going to be similar, right? No, I'm not. Watch this. Boom. And I don't know, the team that we were competing in, they ran into each other and fell down. So, dude, I just won my heat like nothing, right? Yeah, speed, fast twitch fibers still there, right? So, yeah, that was a big show. The Battle of the Network Stars. Where are they now? They should be in an old folks' home.
Where are they now? Are you on Where Are They Now? Are you on? Where is it now?
No. Where are they now?
Yeah. Where are they now? Yeah. And then we had the tug of war, right?
Oh,
so here,
war, yeah.
I'm the guy. So I forgot the big football player. He's a really nice guy. I'm sad I don't remember any names. So what's my name? So they say, you're going to be the anchor on the tug of war. Yeah, no shit. Of course I'm the anchor, right? So they said, Larry, you just get down there and grind. We know you'll grind like a Marine, right? Yeah, no problem, right? So they go and bam, go. And so then I go, and I'm running the opposite way, right? And I'm pulling the guys towards this way, and I'm running that way, the opposite way, right? And you can only go like maybe 6 inches, and then you're just and it's hard, and the longer it is, it's full tension on every muscle group in your glutes and your hamstrings and your quadriceps and your calves are dying. It's like, and then I thought, okay, I'm gonna get down on my knees and just crawl like a grunt, like in the Marine Corps, right? And I got on my knees. Make a long story short, we won. The next day, I'm in the chiropractor and he said, Larry, you are on the verge of snapping your hamstrings. They're so tight, and this is going to take a week. I just get it fixed, please. How was that track event and that tug of war? Like, no big deal. It was easy. Yeah. The life and times of a movie star.
The next time you should be on Dance with the Stars. Maybe we'll get you on Dance with the Stars.
We'll get you on Dancing with the Stars.
No, they've tried. So many people told me, dude, you got to do Dance with the Stars. I'm not doing Dance with the Stars. I mean, I made an ass of myself almost in front of millions of people singing. I'm not going to do Dance with the Stars. My ego, I have that ego is gone, right? Oh, come on. No, you could not pay me to do Dance with the Stars. I did an episode, a guest star on, what was that show with Alec Baldwin and in New York. And anyway, it's a cute scene I do with the co-star, the girl that was the co-star, the comedian. She's really good. And then Alec Baldwin says at the end of my scene, hey, maybe we can get him on Dancing with the Stars in the television episode. And I was like, dude, don't say that, please. I'm not going to do that. I can just imagine me in this little outfit with my shirt unbuttoned and scaring people to hell. What is this, a horror movie?
Marlene would just coach you from the side.
Oh, yeah. She'd be coaching me and laughing. My boys would be rolling in there. Oh, Dad, what are you doing? You've lost it. Come on. Your days are over. Stop.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my
Wow.
God. Wow. Well, this is it's great to see you, talk to you.
I know.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you're busy doing not a lot.
Yeah. Let's just keep going, shall we? We'll just talk another couple hours till I get a phone call. Till my agent calls. And
I'm not going out until 2021. So
That's right. Nothing till 2021.
so when's your next gig? I go, next 2021.
That's right.
yeah.
So said, hey, what are you doing next? I said, nothing.
Yeah.
Or are you available?
Are you available? Yep.
Is the next question. Are you available?
Yep.
Yeah, are you available? How about Wednesday? I'm available. Oh, no, sorry. We got to do it on Friday. Yeah, I'm available. How about Monday? I'm available.
What month, every?
Yeah.
What month, any? What do you got going on? Nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
How's this year going? Good. I'm open.
What do you charge? Anything?
What's your budget?
I'll take it. I should have asked the budget, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's bigger than Larry's last check.
I give that a tip to someone. They'll probably slap me.
Just drop it and give it to them.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm sure you have many more stories to tell us. We'll probably have to bring you back because I'm sure people are going to be like, wait, he can tell us more stories.
Yeah, because we can't really get anybody else to come on.
Well, at least you're up to the A team now. You got the A talent.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't go any higher than this, darling. That's a Chips. You want me to sing the song? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. When I go on vacation, I sing that in case they don't recognize me. I go, hey, hey, hey. Can I have a good table? Dun, 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 dun.
And your van has a picture of you, Larry Wilcox.
Yeah, and where did they sit me? Next to the latrine every time. I don't get it,
Oh my God.
Maybe it's the way I sing the song. It must be that.
Maybe.
My two little boys, when they were little, we were in Hawaii once, and I don't know what made them do it. I had taken them on the set when we did Chips 99, a reunion movie for Chips once, and they were little boys and happy. Their dad was in that and all that. And they had gone to Toy Story or Toys R Us and bought, me. They were so proud of that. And I think I still have them on my pedestal by my bed somewhere. I remind that was you, dude. But anyway, they were whistling the Chips theme, and that's when people recognize me, right? Dude, guys, you can't do that. Don't whistle. It's embarrassing. Poor guy's teaching his kids to whistle the Chips theme. What's wrong with him? Bet he wears that Sam Brown to bed at night with his helmet on.
And then you tell them, go to the front. Hey, say, is my dad Larry Wilcox from Chips in the store? Just make that announcement like you're lost.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's funny when your agent or your public relations manager used to call and make reservations, calling for Mr. Wilcox, a star of the television Chips. He's going to be flying in there for a personal appearance. We want to make sure that blah, 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 blah. Now, hi, yeah, is this such and such hotel? Yes, this is Larry Wilcox. I'm calling. Yes, who? Yeah, you don't know, do you? No, we don't. It's a 20-year-old girl. She doesn't know. You were on a long time ago. The 70s. Did you forget? What the hell's wrong with you? If she knows, yeah. And probably you shouldn't be talking to her at all.
Yeah, I mean, you did your own stunts.
Now you got your own reservations.
Yeah, own reservations. My own laundry, you name it.
Come full circle.
Yeah, but I got vertical.
Started.
Let me see your jump shot. Oh. Can't you jump? Yeah, I don't want to try today, but yeah.
Today's not a good day for that jump stuff.
Pretty close to pulling my hamstring, calling to my doctor.
Get my Cairo off here and I'll do it.
So at least you beat those women in tug of war, and that's what mattered.
That's right. The men against the women, the men lost.
Oh my goodness.
I knew I shouldn't have gone in the Marine Corps. Should have joined the Coast Guard or the Navy. What was wrong with me? Well, are we out of time?
No, we went over this about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, did we?
We don't have
Okay,
no.
though.
Okay. All right.
We don't have a time frame.
We literally
No.
We're good for all next week too.
I got 3 days of this shit if you want more.
I know, exactly. We'll have to bring you back. That's just it. We'll just have to do another day with you, and you can share some more of your funny stories, and I'm sure everybody would love to have you back. We would.
All 8 of them.
Well, yeah, but I boosted you up from 4, so that's a 50% increase. That's what we call an influencer.
That's right.
You bring Larry Wilcox on, and he'll boost you up 50%.
Talking about bringing numbers up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Oh.
Well, no, we'll definitely have to have another day with you, because I'm sure you have more stories and more. We'd love to hear more about your kids. We were lucky enough to meet Chad and got to hang out with him. Great kid, fun. We really enjoyed having him. I know he was here, by himself, just with his friends, and so coming over here and having dinner with us and sitting around and talking, he really enjoyed that. So
yeah, thank you guys.
So
you were really, really, really kind to Chad, and I'm very grateful. And so Chad still, once in a while when I see him, I'll go to Texas and see him and stuff. And he's all Texan now. He loves Texas.
Is he in Texas?
Yeah.
We're on the way. We're going to go to Texas. We got a big trip planned, so we're going to go. What part of Texas is he in?
Dallas.
Oh, we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll have to call him.
Yeah, he's the big boy in Dallas. He has a real cool apartment up on, I don't know, 40th floor or something, and overlooks Dallas, right? All the glass windows. And every time I see him, he's at some pool party and stuff, right? Dude, you're having a hard life. You're living it hard, aren't you? And,
you remember those days.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful. But he's doing really well, and he works for a really neat company, Gartner, and they consult big companies. And by the way, I was thinking, Mark, you guys should. There's a kind of a tech group on the weekends, and on every Saturday they do a Zoom meeting, and it's called Metal, METAL, and they had a hypnotist on there the other day or something, and I was telling them about you. They should have you on there. You know, they actually supposedly I wasn't on that episode. I didn't listen to it. I'm just I just listen like a spectator.
Yeah,
And so they have a lot of following all over the world, and would be might be a good exposure for you to look into a medal.
I'll bet.
Okay.
I'll
Hey,
say,
hey, I got a phone call. I gotta go.
well, I got a lead. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
I'll mention your name. They'll go, who's that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you have somebody saying that you should be on stage. You would give blue collar comedy a run for their money.
My mom's crazy. She says the weirdest things.
Yeah. Oh, I have a bunch of stories for blue collar. I used to work as a telegrapher on the Union Pacific Railroad in big cities like Bitter Creek, Wyoming, and Evanston, Wyoming, where the sightseeing, you would go to the insane asylum and walk down those caves and those little shutters you would open and look in, woo, and close them. What you saw, you didn't want to see, right? Oh my goodness, do I have some blue collar comedy on that stuff?
Well, see, we're gonna have you back just so you can tell us some more.
And when no one shows up, we'll blame it on social distancing. They couldn't show up. It's not because we didn't have the comedy.
Then I would.
It's COVID.
Then you should ask actors, you know, what their job was before they became, quote, celebrities, right? And mine, another one was I worked for a GTE telephone. I was a cable splicer. So you climb up those poles. We had to learn the climbing with those little, I hated doing that. You go pretty high. Well, we got a truck with a boom when you just go up there. But when you usually go down the alleys from one pole to the other, but what you see from that boom, we saw some scary stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's like, oh, she really want us to see this? We have our hard hats on.
Need to get a boom truck.
Yeah.
Just checking the wires, ma'am.
Yeah. That for a young man in a boom truck was not good, you know. I gotta go for a while. See you later. Excuse me. Hey, I really do gotta go now, guys. I'm gonna have to excuse myself. All right.
All right.
Well,
thank you so much. Thank you for spending this time with us and sharing your stories and making us laugh.
Yeah,
See, that's what this is all about.
We'll send that residual check.
Yeah. If you need a loan, let me know. Interest is low. All right. See you guys.
All right.
Thanks, Larry.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God! Well, you guys have to go to LarryWilcox.net and download his song.
That's
That'd be hilarious.
Well, first listen to the song and download it. Yeah.
So we've known Larry for a few years, and he's always like that. No matter where you go, he's always a nut like that. And he did really show up in short pants
to the secret knock.
Yeah. And there was everybody there from Gilligan's Island. Remember Ginger from Gilligan's Island was there. Marianne from Gilligan's Island was there. All these major celebrities were there. Larry walks in, It's like, oh my God, this is like Greg.
You told him to show up.
This is Larry. He obviously ran out of time. He didn't have time to change. He wanted to get down there. He's so excited. He wanted to get down there right away. Oh well, he got down there all right.
My goodness!
But I'll tell you, it was a blast. He's always fun to hang out with. It's like that all the time. We'll have to have him on again. So hey, share this video.
Definitely share this video. We're glad that he was able to sit with us for an hour, considering he's so busy. So I really appreciate that. Mark got him to come on and chat with us, and he kept asking like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What's the theme? And I'm like, there is no theme. We just go with it. We just go with the flow. We talk about whatever. It's conversation. It's information. If you've got something to share with our listeners, that's great. But it's just mostly to sit there and talk and listen to someone who is truly, truly humble, who appreciates the fact that You know, he asked Mark to coach his son, and you know, we went and not only coached him, but we invited him into our home, and we made him feel at home because he was here by himself. Well, he had his school friends, but I'm talking no family and so forth. But so, and you know, to this day, he's grateful that we did that, and he appreciates it, and he always thanks us.
Always came out, no matter when we asked him, "You want to come over for dinner?" He goes, "Yeah."
And
it's like, what, you're not eating dinner at your apartment? No, TV dinners and stuff. Okay, come on.
Home cooked meal is better than
I'll eat fire if I can get a cooked meal. Yeah.
So you know, he's just a humble person, and
got good parents.
And no, I'm talking about Larry. You know, he doesn't act. Or
you see how he is.
Yeah,
that's how he is all the time.
That's how he is all the time. When we first met him, that's how he talked to us. I mean, like, we were just meeting him, and that's exactly how he is. And we really appreciate that he took the time to come here for us.
He really is busy. We just give him a hard time. Go to LarryWilcox.net and download his song. I'm gonna go do it right now. And if you have any, if you want to check out our videos, go on our videos. We got our videos coming on, and where we can still
YouTube,
check them out, watch them.
Yeah,
we should get Michael Nitty on. Michael Nitty is our coach. He's one of our dear friends, Michael and Julie Nitty. He's worked with Tony Robbins for years and years and years. They both do. And Michael taught me and coached me a bunch of times. And if you see you talked about the TV show Billions, and it reminded me of Michael, because if you look at the character Wendy,
the therapist,
that character was done after Michael Nitty's coaching. And some of it was word for word. You know, he coaches. I believe it was the producer or the director of Billions. Imagine having a coach like that, where he coaches all the billionaires and all that. And that's what I want to bring on. Comes over all the time. So
thanks, Julie.
What is she saying?
Mark, give Yolanda a quarantine haircut.
Look at this.
No, Mark will not be touching this hair. No one will but my hairdresser. And if I have to wait until 2021, I'll just have long hair.
That's the way it is. So check it out. Thanks. Comment on this video if you liked it. Share it, and then we'll comment back. We always comment back. And thank you for listening. Conversation with Mark and Yolanda.
We will
go to I doubled my fan base. Hypnotist Mark.
Good job.
I started at 8,137.
I'm surprised you haven't tripled it.
And now I know. And now we're up to over 16,000. So go like my fan page if you haven't done it so far, which probably have. But get your friends to do it too. Hypnotist Mark. Hypnotizing Mark.
No, Hypnotist Mark is your Facebook page.
I would have probably had more fans if I knew my own Facebook page.
Exactly, but it's Hypnotist Mark, not Hypnotizing Mark.
That's
your website. Hypnotizing Mark is the website.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Well, thank you for joining us. We will see you on Friday with another great special guest. So we'll let you know who it is later today. Have a great day.
All right, share this video, comment. Take care, be safe out there. Bye-bye.